Winning is sweet and losing is bitter, but sometimes you are meant to test both part of it for those who understand sports. And with that, we will be discussing some of these issues as it relates to winning and losing in some of the games we have watched, and also try to make analysis from what had happened from last week till date. Well, Barcelona suffered 8-2 demolition, I call it, from the hands of Bayern Munich, and the rampaging Bayern Munich are still on, trying to complete all they wanted to do as far as this year's Champions League is concerned. But this, among other issues, we will be looking at on Capital Sports today. I welcome you. Thanks for joining us. I am Abdullah Hajia, and as usual, we'll be bringing somebody who understands also this game to be able to look at some of the issues as far as the latest development in sports, are concerned. But we'll be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll take it from there. Thanks for being there. Like I said, we will be looking at some of these important issues in sports. And starting from home, there are cheering news for our, darling Super Eagles and our other sporting activities wanting to resume as soon as possible. But apart from that, also we'll be traveling outside the shores of Nigeria to look at some of the sporting developments. More important are some of the issues talking about Champions League, which I believe we've watched how Bayern Munich are determined to, lift the trophy once again. And for PSG also, they're trying to do everything possible to, christen their name in the book of history, also trying to win the Champions League probably for the first time. Apart from that, also we'll be looking at the Premier League, which will soon commence after the completion of the 2019-2020 league season. Don't forget to join us via our various platforms on the social media, and also the number that will be displayed on your screen to be part of this discussion. But for now, before we go on the sports tidbits, I would like to welcome my guest. He is Muhyiddin Jimoh. He is a sports editor with the News Agency of Nigeria. Muhyiddin, you're welcome to Capital Sports.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
So how is everything about sports?
Well, we thank God things are gradually picking up. The COVID thing, it's all over. It's not just Nigeria, across the country. But we thank God gradually now, at least we have the non-contact sports resuming gradually in the country. And I know you get to it later. The CAF just announced the CAF qualifiers and World Cup qualifiers. Maybe by the ending of the year, November, we'll start that also. So things are looking bright, and we're just hoping that everything goes according to.
All right, thank you very much for that opening insight. Okay, we'll be looking at some of these issues in more detail terms. But before we go, let's join Badi Adele if he's ready with his sports tidbits to look at some of the issues, making headlines.
Hello there and welcome again. Now let's go on a quick ride around the world of sports in 240 seconds. Nigeria's two-legged 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying fixture against Sierra Leone will now hold in November. Both countries were earlier scheduled to meet on March 27 in Nigeria and March 31 in Sierra Leone, but the games were shifted by the Confederation of African Football due to the coronavirus pandemic. CAF has now confirmed that the Super Eagles will host their fellow West Africans on November 9, while the reversed fixture will take place on November 17. Former Nigerian Everton striker Victor Anichebe has revealed his desire to buy a football club and improve Black, Asian and minority ethnic representation at boardroom level within the sport. The lack of ethnic minority representation in positions of power across sports has come to light through the Black Lives Matter movement in recent months. As the former Sunderland and West Brom striker believes, black people are obstructed in their dreams of realizing ambitions of holding top-level roles. Stoke City new signing John Obi Mikel hopes to help instill a long-lost winning mentality at the club and also help the Porters push for promotion to the Premier League next season. Mikel penned a one-year contract with Stoke City on Monday, becoming the club's fourth signing of the summer. The experienced midfielder spent 11 years at Chelsea before helping the Blues land the Premier League title twice, as well as 3 FA Cups, the Champions League and Europa League. Champions Liverpool will face championship winners Leeds United in the standout opening weekend game of the 2020-2021 Premier League season. Championship playoff winners Fulham will host Arsenal, while West Bromwich Albion, the third promoted side, are at home against Leicester City. The opening round of fixtures will take place on the weekend of 12th September. However, Manchester City vs Aston Villa and Burnley vs Manchester United will be rearranged. Ronald Koeman says is coming home after agreeing to take charge of Barcelona on a 2-year deal following the departure of Quique Setien. The 57-year-old, who spent 6 years as a player at Barcelona and was a member of Johan Cruyff's legendary Dream Team, has taken on the job after he left his role as manager of the Netherlands. At his unveiling on Wednesday, Koeman was also quick to stress that he wants Lionel Messi to remain at the club in the wake of speculation that the Argentine could leave following the thrashing by Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich will face PSG in the Champions League final after a Serge Gnabry brace fired the German champions past Lyon. Former Arsenal winger Gnabry scored 2 first-half goals and Robert Lewandowski netted his 55th goal of the season as Bayern Munich beat Lyon 3-0 on Wednesday night to reach their 11th Champions League final. PSG qualified for the final for the first time in history on Tuesday with an emphatic 3-0 win over RB Leipzig. The Champions League final takes place on Sunday night in Lisbon. Ligue 1's opening game of the season has been postponed after another 3 confirmed coronavirus cases at Marseille. That takes the number of players and backroom staff who have contracted the virus up to 4 after left-back Jordan Amavi tested positive last week. Marseille were due to take on Saint-Etienne in the season opener on Friday night, but the match has now been postponed. And that will be all on Sports Tidbits for this week. Do enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much, Badia Adeleye, for that excellent delivery of some of the headlines as far as sports is concerned around the world. Malam Muhyiddin, you watch, the highlights given by Badia Adeleye. One thing that I found interesting there is the issue of Barcelona replacing their coach. You know, most time we say coaches are waiting to be hired and fired. This is one, case scenario. And Barcelona that we know, they've always tested, the sweet, parts of this game, winning and beating everybody that comes their way. And today we are talking of Barcelona, going down 8-2 in the quarterfinal of the, Champions League.
I hate to talk about this, if you get what I mean. Hate to talk about it. I'm talking about the last defeat, 8-2.
Yeah.
You understand? It's interesting actually, but I don't envy Ronald Koeman. I don't envy him at all. National Dutch coach, and now he's leaving his position to go coach Barcelona, which is in a terrible state right now. You know, there's so many issues that needs to be addressed. I don't know how he's going to do it. He really needs to hit the ground running if he needs to make any impact at Barcelona. Don't forget, there are so many issues. The election for the president is coming next year. You know, the major challenger, that's Victor Font, he said something very interesting, that even if he wins, which is likely going to win, because Joseph Bartomeu, which the president won now, the fans, everybody are against him because of the way the club has been. Font has said if he wins, even if, what's his name, Ronald Koeman wins the treble, he will not continue in that position. They want their former captain, Xavi, who is coaching in Saudi Arabia presently now, to come in. The election is next year, March, I think, or so. So you can imagine for a coach, you go into that kind of a situation that you're not sure that maybe in the next few months you're going to be sacked. So you really need to do a whole lot. Messi is not sure whether he's going to stay or not. Most of their players are in their 30s. You have Suarez is in his 30s, Busquets, so many. So there's so many problems.
I believe the team can be rebuilt again, and nothing is impossible.
Definitely.
And I think Barcelona can still, get on their feet again and begin to continue to rule the world. But that is just by the way. But let us, begin from home.
Okay.
The Super Eagles, I think very soon will be, resuming campaign ahead of their qualification qualifiers to say, both in the African Nations Cup and also the 2022 Qatar World Cup.
Yeah.
So what should we be expecting, considering, the absence of, sporting activities back home here, even though we'll say, okay, some of these players have been engaged or were parts of the return of the game across Europe and other leagues that are returned. So what should be our expectation, when the Super Eagles return to be able to continue to do us proud?
Well, I think we're lucky in the sense that we have most of our players playing in Europe. And interestingly, they are beginning to get their groove back. Most of them are doing well now. Some of them have moved from, lower clubs to better clubs. So they are active, they are doing well. And Coach Ganaglor is constantly in touch with them. We have a very young crop of, dazzling players. What was his name? Just moved to Napoli.
Victor Osimhen.
Victor Osimhen just moved to Napoli. The guy in Villarreal is doing well there. So we have a whole lot of, bunch of young players doing well. What we just need to do is for the coach, as once the window opens, for them to camp, just call them to camp. And in the last few years, we've not had issues with people coming late to camp. So when we just come to camp, I know we are in a relatively easy group for the AFCON qualifiers. We have Benin Republic, Lesotho, and Sierra Leone. We won our first 2 matches. We're on top of the group. We don't need complacency to come in. Once we just take the game as it comes, I know we'll be home and dry at the end of the day. Well,
thank you very much for that insight. But before we continue, this program is being streamed live on YouTube. You can be part of it. Go to our YouTube channel at NTA Channel 5. You can watch us live as we discuss here, from the studios of NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity station. Okay, now the Super Eagles. Now, the argument has always been, yes, Gernot Rohr, on the average, people score him on the average to say, well, he has done relatively well, and some argue that, no, he has not been able to put much. The issue of blending the team, has not always been there. So don't you think Nigerians are expecting more to see a team that is, well blended. Like you see Senegalese playing, you see young team blended together playing.
Yeah, gone are the days when we had superstars that could just turn the team around, or when the match is not going well, you have the likes of JJ Olise, they just come popping, just turn the match around. What we have, there's like a shift now. What we have is a bunch of young players doing well. My personal problem with Gennett Raw is that he's just like an average coach. And in Nigeria, average doesn't do it. If you go to a competition and you don't win that competition, then you've not done anything as far as Nigerians are concerned. We have crazy football fans that they just want to watch. The last AFCON, we came third. Algeria, won. Senegal comes second. For Nigerians, that's not good enough. I actually interviewed General at the airport when he came back, and I was like, but you could see him. He was so happy coming third. It was like he's done something great for him. But for Nigerians, that is not good enough. So I think he needs to now go to the second level. He's done the first phase, at least he's been able to put unit in the team, because that was what we lacked. When Olise was there and, the recent past, there was a lot of squabbles and what have you. But now he's been able to make them blend gradually. There's unity in the team. Then now the winning mentality. Go to a competition, win it. That is what Nigeria is known for.
Well, the winning mentality, I think, should not only stop with the coach himself, but also all the players should be able to, imbibe that culture, because, like you say, Nigerians are sport enthusiasts, especially football. Okay. Every Nigerian is a coach. Like my former GM would say, every Nigerian is a coach. So every Nigerian understands what should be done, how it should be done, even though they don't even have the knowledge of, the game. But exactly. The spirit and expectation of Nigerians, are always high to get, Nigerian winning trophies in Africa and also beyond. Now, let's quickly look at Victor Anichebe. It's long we heard anything about him, and just recently he's in the news, trying to, own a club to change certain misconception about the blacks. I think is a good one.
Yeah, it's a move in the right direction. Anichebe, if you recall, he's born when he moved over to the UK.
Yes.
He's made his mark, played for Sunderland, played for Everton, and in West Brom in the EPL. So he's made his mark in the UK, and with the Black Lives Matter, issue and all what have you, we've had a whole lot of players. Boateng also came out a few weeks ago that the way to go is to have black players in position of authority, either as coaches, club owners, and across the sphere of the administration of football. And that is when the voice of the blacks can really be heard, because we've had Africans, we have the raw talents. So we have a whole lot of players playing in EPL and across clubs in Europe. They can't help it, because these guys are good. So, but we need to just move ahead again from just having players play to having, black players own clubs, having players coach. I watched a recent interview of Campbell, that's former Arsenal,
player.
Yeah, player. He's gone to coaching now. He said, I go for, interviews, but just because I'm black, I don't get the job. But my colleagues like Lampard and what have you, just because of the color of their skin, they are coaching big clubs. Give us a chance and let's see what we can do. So I think this will be a move in the right direction. We've had the likes of our own Aliko Dangote also, mooting the idea of buying one of those foreign clubs. It was the time talked about Arsenal. So the more we have this kind of things, I think it's going to be good in the long run.
Okay, there's even recently one Nigerian, a female this time, that even bought a club in Portugal.
Yes.
So I think these are all positive moves that probably, if we gradually get them, will change the world in time, trying to kill racism as far as football and other sports is concerned. Okay, now quickly, another Nigerian player, John Obi Mikel. I think this one player, if you ask me, that I think he has always gotten it probably in his favor, because this one player, whether he's playing well, he's in form, or he's deformed, you find Mikel Obi in one club or another, and going for him. And recently he just penned his signature to Stoke City. Stoke City is a very good club, even though they are in the second division in the England league. So, and I think he has come out to say that he wants to contribute, hugely to see that Stoke return to the top flights of the EPL.
I think on a personal note, it's a good move for Mikel. He's won everything that needs to be won with Chelsea, about 11 years or more with Chelsea. You understand? After leaving Chelsea, went to China, then from China back to Turkey. You know the issues he had with in Turkey. Now he's back in England, but for Stoke City as a club, I don't know what their I don't know what their strategy or what their goal is, because last season they didn't perform well. If you recollect, we have Super Eagles midfielder Tebo. He was there. He didn't have it go well with him. He had to go on loan together from Spain. And immediately moved to Spain. He started playing well. So Stoke City, they really need to do a whole lot more than just relying on Mikel if they really want to gain promotion to the Premier League. They need to really get their acts right.
But it's not relying on Mikel per se, but we're looking at it from the point of view that Mikel believes he still has a lot to offer. And that's why probably the club going for him, and he's saying, well, he's ready to do his best to see that probably they, regain a promotion to the Premier League. And don't forget, some few years back, Stoke used to be one tough side that, when you're playing Stoke City, you see they have their own pattern of football that they always get result against some of these top players. But we wish Mikel will be well as he settles down to the new season in Stoke City. And probably at the end of the day, we'll come back here to say, well, he's done well and they are in the Premier League again. Well, that is by the way. Okay, then let's quickly look at the Premier League. The fixtures are out around September, 12th of September. The 2020-2021 EPL season, will be on. And I feel the days of sporting activity, beginning to be back, despite COVID-19 is not totally, out of the world yet. So I think we'll begin to enjoy some of this, sporting activity with the fixtures we saw, come 12th September. And the newly promoted side, Leeds United, Fulham, West Brom, I think they will also be trying to show or justify why they are back into the EPL.
Definitely. I saw the fixtures. We have Liverpool and Leeds United.
Yes.
Marcelo Bielsa, the Argentine coach. I love him. He's a very great coach. I call him the godfather of, coaching. So that opening match between Liverpool and Leeds is going to be very interesting. We can't wait to have the league back again. Then we have, I think, Wolves playing Sheffield. Those two teams really played well last season. They punched above their weight. So I'm really looking forward to those two main fixtures. Although, coaches have been complaining of fixture congestion and all that. The likes of Manchester United and Man City, they've had their first game postponed because of their engagement in the Europa League and the Champions League respectively. So, because the players also need a little bit of rest so that, when they come back fresh and, ready to just go and fire in all cylinders. And the UK government, they're also doing a whole lot to try and see how they can get fans back to the stadia. So they say it's going to be a gradual thing by September, October, with physical distancing. Gradually, we'll start seeing, definitely next season, we'll see a little bit of fans back at the stadium, which is good for the game, good for the fans, good for viewership.
And good for business too.
Exactly. So we're just happy about that.
So let's hope and we'll begin to see the changes, because the return of the remainder of the league season, we saw an empty stadium with some device creating noise and also picture. So fans will be looking forward to see when they will go physically to the stadium to watch their darling team play and probably cheer them up, when they are playing. So I think that is one aspect that all of us will be waiting to see if there will be an improvement as the season, the new season, kickstart. Now, quickly, Bayern Munich, they are just on rampage. They are not looking back. Their eyes are on the trophy. Do you think PSG can stop them?
You know, like I always say, with football is like cookies. You never know where it's going to crumble. But if you look at it based player for player, coach for coach, their antecedent in the Champions League, you know, look at all indices, Bayern definitely have edge over PSG. PSG is the first time they're getting to the final, even with the array of stars they have. If you look at the Bayern side, since Hansi Flick came in, is molded them into a very compact team.
Yeah.
Play high pressing up, you know. So they're a very good team. But for PSG, they play more like individuals. If Neymar is not playing, if Mbappe is not playing, if Icardi is not playing, then they don't seem to get their acts right. So if you watch both teams, as an analyst, you tend to go for a Bayern win. But just like I said, this is football. It is how prepared physically, mentally, tactically, psychologically you are on the day that will give you the game. So if everything goes according to plan, as Bayern definitely has an edge, and I can't just wait to have the finals because it's going to be a very interesting final.
And one thing you can't take away from the Bayern side is the issue of everyone can score in Bayern. Definitely. Defenders can go scoring. Sometimes even the goalkeeper makes attempt to go to score.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think it's a team that, if you ask me, I think they're just red hot. It is their time, and let's see if PSG, you know, have that, you know, tactical prowess to be able to stop Bayern Munich come Sunday. And another aspect or another part of what we should not forget to talk about is the issue of the Europa League also. Okay. Inter Milan, I think Conte is doing wonderfully well with the team. You know, they finished second on the Serie A, and now they are in the finals of the final of the Europa League with Sevilla. Sevilla experience coming to Europa. So what do you expect?
Interesting. That's another interesting one. Sevilla, like the Europa is their birthright. They've made it their birthright. They've won it 5 times.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to Europa, it's like bread and butter for them. They just want to eat everybody around and just go all the way. But you can't discount the fact that Conte, since he came in with his, you know, traditional 3-5-2 formation, you know, overlapping wing backs, Ashley Young, his imports from the EPL, he's been doing well. Lukaku, he had issues while he was at Man U, but ever since he moved to Inter, you know, Conte has molded him the way he wanted him to play. And Lautaro Martinez, the Argentine, you know, guy, their combination is deadly up front. So, you know, when you play, it's going to be a very interesting match, Sevilla and Inter. You know, Lopetegui, he has a whole lot, that's the Sevilla coach, he has a whole lot to prove after his short stint at Madrid, catastrophical outing. So he needs to really prove that I'm still there, I'm still good, I can do it. So Sevilla, for me, has a little bit of urge, just like I said earlier, but anything can happen. This is football.
But if you ask me, Inter Milan, you know, seem to be more determined, you know, to win this Europa League. More so when I think the coach will want to prove a point to be able to finish the season with something.
Definitely, I agree with you on that. In fact, from what I'm hearing, he's under pressure. You know, he started well, like a house on fire. He did well, but after the resumption of the COVID break, you know, there was a blip. He started slipping. In fact, Atlanta almost overtook them. So there were criticism here and there that, what's happening? If there was no that slip, I'm telling you, Inter will have won because Juve also weren't doing well. That was why their coach was sacked. So now, Conte is trying to prove that, okay, regardless of what happened, I want a trophy to show for all our efforts. So I know he's going to go all out with tenacity of purpose and try to see that the win that.
Thank you very much, Muhyiddin Jimoh, sports editor, News Agency of Nigeria, for finding time to be part of Capital Sports today. We appreciate your insights and perspective, you know, on some of the issues we raised today on Capital Sports. This is the much time will permit us to, you know, have taken on Capital Sports today. Same time next week, same station, you know, we'll come here to discuss some of the issues, and probably by then we would have known the winners of the Europa and the UEFA Champions League, and also see how the Super Eagles also will be preparing to, you know, do us proud as far as the Africa Cup of Nations, you know, is concerned. Well, join us same time next week. I am Abdullahi Ajia. Thanks for your time.